Assalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh. My name is Asmunawati Siji. I will presentation material, and today topic of my presentation is should education be free for everyone? The purpose of this presentation is to find out that free education is able to lighten or reduce the burden on the community, students, and parents of students. And free education can also provide great opportunity for students to get a decent and quality education. And I have divided my presentation into several points, namely definition of free education, the benefits of free education, the positive and negative impacts of free education, and pros and cons of free education. Okay, I will just explain the contents of the material. And the first is definition of free education. Free education is all fee waivers for students and parents of students, relates to the teaching and learning process and school building activities. Next, the benefits of free education. Benefits of free education are: first, ensuring the availability of free educational land, facilities, and infrastructure. And second, educational personnel, and operational costs of the organization by dividing the burden of duties and responsibilities as stipulated in the law, which leads to education. And third, supporting the implementation and success of the 9-year compulsory education. And the next material is the positive and negative impacts of free education. Positive impacts of free education is able to provide opportunities for underprivileged children to be able to get an education which so far only exists in their imagination and dreams. Able to improve the quality of education in the future, and able to reduce the level of ignorance, unemployment, and poverty, and able to produce quality human resources. And negative impact of free education is the fees that are free are only administrative costs, so that it creates opportunities for abuse from irresponsible school parties. For example, whether students want to or not, students are forced to buy textbooks, student worksheets, and tuition fees, which in the end are not free either. With the free school program, people who are still laymen will think that they only need to send their children to the elementary or junior high school level, and it causes some students to act arbitrarily in terms of learning or financing. Next, pros and cons of free education. Pros of free education is 1. Free schooling for parents can reduce their burden of thinking on the issue of education costs, and no more children who are not allowed to take exams just because they have not paid school tuition. And 2. Free education includes government efforts to improve the quality of education and reduce the number of children dropping out of school. And cons of free education is 1. Free education costs only up to junior high school, while senior high school does not. Meanwhile, it is the high school graduates who are the main spearhead and the established age to find work and earn foreign exchange. The government spends a lot of money, and free education only reduce the quality of our education. And 2. The child is more concerned with work than having to go to school, which does not spend anything. And 3, awareness of education is very lacking. And 4, there is a lack of sense of having to go to school. And 5, free education only reduce the quality of our education, and the government spends a lot of money. And the next is conclusion. Free education is an education service free of charge. However, this raises pros and cons in society. Actually, free education is a necessity which has been stated in the 1945 Constitution, Article 31, which reads the government is obliged to pay for the education of its citizens. The free education policy is also able to have a positive impact for the achievement of national goals, as well as the free school policy. Apart from being able to provide benefits, it can also have a negative impact where the state has not been fully able to fully finance the education of citizens so that there are still levies in schools. Okay, I think that's all material from me. Wabillahi taufiq wal hidayah. Wassalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh.
Yeah.